Pengu has moved 300%. I'm bullish long-term on Pengu through the alt season, and then as soon as the alt season is done, I'm dumping.
What I'll be more interested in is what other plays from Pengu potentially drag along with it.
The content presented in this podcast is intended for informational and educational purposes only. It should not be considered as financial advice, and listeners are encouraged to conduct their own research or consult with a qualified professional before making any investment decisions.
Crypto flip.
I started with $15,000 in debt, not unmanageable. But I was desperate to clear it quickly. Greed got the best of me when I saw a post about jail stall. I went all in. I took out 4 credit cards with $8,000 limits, each racking up another $32,000 in debt. Then Jailstall crashed to a $3 million market cap, and I lost everything. Now I owe the original $15K plus $32K I burned chasing crypto dreams. What do you make of that?
Wow. I don't even know where to begin to unpick this. Like he said it, the 15K was not unmanageable. Like, that's light work. But then you saw, what did he say? I saw a post online about jail stool. There's a stool that is in jail. And proceeded, wait. He proceeded to take out 4 credit cards. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 credit cards of $8,000 to buy jail stool meme coin. I believe this is a meme coin. I know for a fact.
Yeah, it was a meme coin. It was a meme coin.
Yeah. Emphasis on was. Yeah, it was. Cause you proceeded to lose it all. Now you're down almost 50K in debt. You're not portfolio, no nothing. You probably don't have a job. Because the thing about it, this is the thing. If you have a job, you'll be thinking about, okay, cool. I have a job. I have a monthly income. How am I going to clear this debt? That's what you'll be thinking. So if you have a job in mind, or you're already in a job, you wouldn't have taken 4 credit cards. 4. Dude. Yeah, listen, you're finished. You're done. You're cooked. Unless you want to default on your credit card and just maybe pay it back one day, there's no coming back from this. For you to come back from this, you need to, first of all, get a job. Leave crypto because you need money to make money. So if you don't have money, unless you think you can turn $20, unless you think you're James or something, you can turn $20 into $2 million. Or 50 mil. So, I mean, my God, jail stool, you burn money. You took out debt to buy jail stool. I was speechless, man. You go.
It's crazy. I remember when Jailstool came out, and for those who don't know, Jailstool is or was a meme coin from the founder of Barstool, Dave Portnoy. And people, I think he had his own one, but I think he backed this one, and it was basically saying, Barstool, him going to Jailstool because of him pumping meme coins and stuff like that. So that was the narrative, but to take out all that credit card debt to go long on the meme coin is crazy.
The meme coin.
On crypto is bad enough, but on the meme coin is not.
Not Bitcoin.
I'm not gonna lie.
Bitcoin. Not not ETF. Not something safe. I took out this debt. I'll pay it back monthly. At least I know I have it in stock, and I haven't sold. I haven't liquidated because I bought spot. Meme coin.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
all I can say to this guy,
he's
yeah, I ain't got a plan for you to go back, because now you just put yourself further in the hole. And you say you're chasing crypto dreams. You're chasing greed, my friend. Don't get it confused. You were chasing greed.
It wasn't chasing dreams. It was chasing clouds, bro. Clouds, because they never existed for you. When you feel like you can touch the cloud, but it's nothing but vaporware, fam. I'm telling you, that's what we're chasing, man. Because we're never there. If you just taken a minute to think about, what? Maybe I shouldn't take out all this debt to buy a meme coin. If you just give it another hour or day to just ponder it,
Nah, you're right.
On to the next one.
I sold my house, started a project with my partner, and we got scammed by a launchpad for $500,000 USDT and 200K in project tokens, which they dumped on the market at TGE and rugged us. Now I'm over $100,000 in debt and jobless. How do you even tackle this one?
I mean, to be honest, first of all, you should sold your house to start a partner of your project. And I hope your partner wasn't involved in it and you getting scammed. But
that's what I was trying to just double check as well.
Yeah, I think he didn't go into too much detail, but yeah, he sold his house, started a project with a partner. What do you mean by partner? That is wife or his business partner? I think it's probably his business partner or something. And then we got scammed by a launchpad for 500K USDT, could have been worse. And then you lost another 200K in project token, could have been worse. But I think all of this just looks pronounced because you can't lose money you don't have. If you never sold your house in the first place, you wouldn't be in this situation. If you just remortgage and Bobby just gave some equity back for some cash, where like instead of selling the whole thing, you sold 20% and took a credit to remortgage 20% of that. And then you could just take out that 50K, 20K, or 100K, whatever the value of that money of that house at that time. You know what I mean? You can't spend money you don't have. So if you do 200K, hey, listen, it could have much. You could have blown your entire house. But for you to sell your house and do this, you must have had some strong conviction. Like, I would only make a move like this if I know someone on the inside. Like, if I know that I'm part of the inner circle, like I'm chilling with CZ, the ex-founder of Binance, like people that can actually move stuff. That, you know, like, listen, if I put my life entire savings in this move, and if I did, I still wouldn't do it. Because you never know, anything can happen. Because no one truly knows.
Crypto.
Exactly. So if you need this, or if I had any kind of brain cell, like zero, or not just +1 brain cell, you know this was a bad idea. I don't care if the market was at its peak mania point, where like meme coin was just, bro, everyone was just making money off meme coin. So what? Why would you sell your house? Like, bro, why would you sell your house to go? Idiot. He's an idiot. He deserves to lose all the time. He deserves to be homeless. He just want to sit down to do, basically, he needs to go get a job. I hope he's not too old to be working. I hope he's not of a retiree age, right? Because he needs to go get a job. Because now he needs to get a job, get back on a property ladder. Oh, first of all, figure out how to feed yourself and clear your debt. You can get the property ladder. So yeah, it's got work to do, but I hope he's a young man still, because I would want to be 60 and then this is my predicament. Like, that's crazy work. Crazy work.
And we're launching a project at 60 would be nuts in and of itself, but crazier things have been done in crypto. But look, this guy, you took the ultimate risk and you paid for it. I'm a risk taker and I paid for it sometimes, and sometimes it works out. But there's something called like managing risk. You know, at some point you have to ask yourself, is the risk worth it? Now, you probably, had this project, I don't know, maybe you didn't raise enough funds, or maybe you chose not to raise funds, or whatever your reason was for putting the money up yourself for the listing. And then you said to yourself, okay, we're going to do the listing, but we're going to, not even remortgage, I'm going to sell my house, and then I'm going to pay, and then, it's going to be liquid, and then boom, we're going to be rich. Didn't happen that way. So, yeah, I think this is definitely a cautionary tale. If you decide to start a project, A, try not to use your own money. B, if you are going to use your own money, make sure you know what you're doing. And C, try not to get scammed, because nobody wants to be there.
Try not to put all your eggs in one basket, you idiot. Like, for the 7-year house to launch it. What? He must think he's Elon Musk or something, fam. Like, my last 2 mil. Bro, the Elon Musk having a legitimate business. You're selling your house to launch a meme coin project about jail stool or whatever new stool people are launching these days. Like, my God, retard.
It's not wise. But welcome back to the Crypto Flip podcast. I am your host, Harris King. And I am joined once again with my co-host, Deji. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're watching on YouTube, leave us a comment. If you're listening on any of the platforms we are on, don't forget to leave a review. And yeah, this week has been crazy. So, Elon Cohen, the founder of Pump Fund, officially announced that the distribution of the Pump token airdrop will commence on the 24th, allegedly. But then we heard further news that we wouldn't actually see any airdrop in the near future. So it appears as though the airdrop plan for Pump isn't actually going to happen in the near future. Do you think this is going to be negative, positive, or it's not really going to matter?
Oh man. Oh right. I've got a lot to say about this. First of all, I didn't even know about this. Yeah, this is news to me, so thank you for bringing it to my attention. I think this was one, like, I remember when the Pump the Fund was launched, like for the TGE, before the ICO stuff, it was here on our channel, like, it would be a bad idea for you to buy into Pump token at this stage because, one, you're not sure how it's going to perform. Two, there's been some shady deals going on in the background where in pre-sale, you know what I mean, people probably got preferential treatments. That's the nature of the game. Humans, greed, that goes hand in hand. You know what I mean, if you could, you probably bought as much as you could at a very, very cheap price. So buying a ICO price, emphasis on the quote, because these ICO prices are subjectable. It's a price you think the people will be interested in buying, and people now post launch, people have now dumped below ICO price. I'm putting up the chart now, but and I remember the day after, I think the day after this TGE, the founder was like, "Oh, time to be greedy." He tweeted something very, like, it was very shady, like, it was very, like, cryptic. He was saying something about how, like, oh, it's greedy season, like, it's greedy season. I was like, okay, cool. And then this was also a time when people was expecting there to be an airdrop, whether there to be an airdrop or not. There was been plans that it's going to be an airdrop, obviously, but it hasn't been fully ironed out or confirmed. Fast forward now, the coin is now publicly traded. It's not doing well at all. It's officially below $1 billion market cap. It's now at 933 million. It's down 13% today. I believe, was it? Yeah, 13% today, but all altcoins are down today. I know there's not a lot of altcoins doing great today, but it's well below ICO price now. Like, there's no support in sight. So I think the tool I would have used if I was Pump the Fund is, you know what I mean, going ahead with this airdrop, or even proposing like some strategic partnership with certain people, some certain streamers, and try to just, you know what I mean, rally some interest behind it, because this could spiral out of control. And I understand the concern was sneaking. If you do an airdrop, people just keep dumping. But this started with you guys giving preferential treatment to insider wallets, letting them basically sell and not be vested. Yes, your team token is vested, but most of the other buyers are pre-sale or pre-seed, they're not vested. So they've clearly dumped on the community. You know what I mean? So now fast forward to, you know what I mean, you telling me the guy said they're gonna go ahead with the airdrop, and then say, "Nah, we're not going with the airdrop." That is terrible for Pump the Fund, and this is goodness for Bank. I think you see Bank will probably continue to do well in this space, because they're doing, like, I think, you know what I mean, Bank will continue to consolidate, profiting from that weak momentum from Pump, and they got their own platform, and they're not trying to do this. Oh, they're going to launch a token based on the Bank Fund platform. They would have a bank token, so that already works in their favor and supported by the Solana ecosystem. But for Pump the Fund to not go through the airdrop is very, very bad. Like, I hate to tell you so. Like, I hope people and viewers in our community are not invested too much money. I mean, sometimes you just, no one can really truly know where the great alpha is coming from. But if you invested, I hope you didn't invest too much. I hope you invest the money you're willing to lose. But I don't see Like, where would you be interested in buying pump? Like, what level? Like, I'm looking at the chart and it looks terrible. So, it's not good, to answer your question. What do you think?
Water is wet. Government will always say, give you taxes, and pump fund was going to dump. I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. Especially on TG. Now, I'm not an oracle, but it was just too obvious. No, in all seriousness, I think that with the airdrop, yes, people can dump. And if I received an allocation, I would have dumped so quick. But if you build up a community and they believe in what you're doing, it can actually work. When you look at projects like Hype has been rallying, when a lot of projects haven't been. And they had one of the biggest airdrops in the space. Grass performed well, even despite the fact that a lot of people were disappointed with the allocation they were getting. And this is obviously post TGE that I'm talking about. But when you look at Pump, if they had executed it in a way whereby the community was happy with them, then maybe they may have held. Maybe they would have taken a little bit of profit, but maybe they would have held. But the fact that they didn't do it at launch and they haven't decided to give any formal announcement as to when it is going to happen, if it is going to happen, I think that's bad news for the token and bad news for them as a platform. Yes, they have the majority share of the sort of meme coin market, but crypto moves fast. Players come and go. I remember back in the day, Coinbase used to be the only in town, then Binance popped up. It only took FTX one cycle to be, one of the most dominant players before they collapsed. And similarly, Bongfun is there. You got Believe. You've got other platforms around, and you probably have platforms which haven't even launched yet, which will come and eat market share. So if this was their last hurrah, they could be numbered if they don't, think of another plan. But I guess we'll see how that sort of plays out.
Yeah, for real.
And something else that we should see how it plays out is the UK. It plans to dump seized Bitcoin. Chancellor Rachel Reeves may sell $5 billion in BTC seized from 2018, from a 2018 Chinese Ponzi scheme, which includes 61,000 BTC. The Home Office is building a framework to liquidate the stash and plug a fiscal gap. So, in layman terms, the UK is broke and they want to sell Bitcoin that they've seized. What do you make of that? And it kind of reminds me of what Germany did, but let's hear what you take.
How much Bitcoin is seized?
61,000.
And what's the value of that today?
At the time when I got the story, it was 5 billion plus.
Okay. Yeah, 5 billion. I mean, 5 billion is not a lot, man. Like, dude, you know what it is? It's like, I can confidently say now, and I think this is one of the reasons why I'm long-term bullish on Bitcoin is every time you get a major capitulation in Bitcoin, and, you get the discounted prices on Bitcoin, if great assets are owed, dude, it's got a market cap of 2.3 trillion, right? Basically nearing the all-time high, well, not all-time highs. But liquidating 5 billion in the 5 billion in the Bitcoin, I don't think the market will even care. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know 5 billion is not small money, but in the contrast of, the overall market cap of Bitcoin, I don't think we have anything to sweat about. And I'm not surprised UK's following the same route that Germany did. At least they're selling out profit. You know what I mean? They're selling out double the profit. But this government, like, I think, what would you like to do? What would you like to do? Create strategic Bitcoin reserve based on stolen Bitcoin. Like, you know what I mean? The same way, like,
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like Yeah. But I think the central bank, the England central bank, have made it clear like they're not gonna not to the same level of commitment that the SEC and the Fed have in the States, where like they're not really blocking banks from doing crypto transactions. There's still companies in UK that are, like, for example, Barclays. Barclays, if I'm you, I'd rather don't use Barclays for crypto transactions. I just think that won't be good for you. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to do something, you want to use Revolut or something, that's the better approach, in my opinion. And I think that's probably from the fear of, them, being penalized for interacting with crypto and the AML, anti-money laundering services that can be executed via the crypto being medium. I think because of that fear, they are afraid to kind of get their hands too dirty or push their crypto initiative. So, in my opinion, UK is not ready to start doing things on the level of US, where like they're looking to create a strategic reserve, they're looking to sell some gold to do this. If you know what I mean, gun to the head, ECB will keep buying gold. That's what I know. They'll keep buying gold. They'll keep buying bonds and issuing bonds. And because that's what they're known. Like, yeah, I feel like we are not surprised countries like US are further along in the digital initiative, and UK is a bit behind. We're not surprised there. Like, just for example, like, perfect example is the AI stuff, the whole responsible AI, where like you need to be careful how you're using AI in your workplace, blah blah blah. There are certain features that are enabled in the US version of ChatGPT that's not available in the UK version, because UK, it's got to be vetted, dusted, make sure it doesn't really infringe on their way of doing things. So personally for me, I'm not surprised that they're trying to liquidate her, and they should, because they don't know what to do with it, clearly. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a reflection of UK culture. UK culture was on a wider scale, is a very conservative culture. Not in terms of like morally and stuff like that, but more so in terms of attitude to risk. Very, very, very conservative, which is why you don't really get the big IPOs over here. That's why you get a lot of entrepreneurs moving to Dubai or America or other places in the world, and they don't stay in the UK. That's why you have the biggest exodus of millionaires in the world from the UK. When you talk about net migration for millionaires. Now, all of that is to say that instead of thinking forward, having creative approaches to plug the gap, they look at it and say, okay, because this money is it's just been sitting there since 2018. And then all of a sudden, we're broke. We need some money. Yes, how can we raise money? Okay, let's sell this Bitcoin that we have for $5 billion. It's $5 billion in free cash. So on the one hand, I see why they would want to sell it. But on the other hand, it's a case of, if we were smart and we kept it, we could do more. Or even if we borrowed against it. Or there's so many other things that they could have done that I think would have had a stronger benefit than just, let's just sell it because, we're in dire need right now. So, yeah, it's not surprising. But is it the smartest thing to do? Not in my opinion. But something that might be a smart thing to do, Pengu. Because Pengu has been ripping it over the past month, which has gone over about 5x in the past month. So I want to know can Pengu be this part of the cycle's fart coin? Can it rally the other meme coins, rally NFTs, and sort of drag everything up and generate retail interest?
Wow. Right. It definitely can. And I'll tell you why. One is fairly cheap. Let's see. So we have, not sure. So right now currently there's 62 billion penguins in circulating supply. There is no mad supply. That's concerning in my opinion. But it has had a very impressive rally the past month. So basically, this month, it's basically up 300%. That's crazy work. Like 3x is crazy work. So I think that's great. And I think you probably think any retail economy, as like we said yesterday, there's been increased retail interest. And I don't know a lot of institutional investors buying up Pengu. So that's going to be retail driven because they're speculating on altcoins. They're speculating alt season, which is great. I think it's great. And there's a lot of bullish things as well that's happening. Like apparently there's a NFT gaming mobile game that could boost adoption. The NFT market resurgence based on the ETH activity. But you know what I mean? There's obviously fairly risk. So like, you know, if whales, I will watch what the whales are doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's moved. Like, think about it. Pengu has moved 300%. I'm bullish long term on Pengu through the alt season, and then as soon as alt season is done, I'm dumping it. But I think I wouldn't want to buy a start accumulated Pengu at these prices because after a 300% move, or let's just say by the end of this month, it'll be 350. It'd be crazy to get into it right now. So I'll wait for some sort of like consolidation, some sort of like pullback to like that fair value gap. I will need to identify that to see what the fair value gap is. Let's just say below that 1 cent area. I think that's a really strong area of interest for me to long and probably hold for 5x. So I think that's definitely in the books. I think definitely see Pengu at 8 cents. You know what I mean? Another 2x from here. But I think we go lower. Honestly, I think we'll go lower than 0.03 right now. And yeah, I'll watch out for what the whales are doing because the past 30 days has been rallying like crazy. People will take interest. There's already been some whale activities. Apparently, there was a single address that dumped 73 million Pengus, and that was 2.13 million profit. I mean, triggering there, you know what I mean, like the 8% drop. So, you know what I mean, if more and more whales are selling, I honestly think August will not be a great month for alts, in my opinion. Like, alts have rallied so much the past that the only thing I'm interested in buying right now or trading is ETH, SO, and BTC. And even hype, I think is an area where like I'm not sure what it's gonna do. It stopped between a little bit over $40, but under its previous all-time high, which is $50. It's like, you know what I mean? If you buy 43, where you gonna long? Where you gonna take profit? So, unless you're buying long term, then obviously you can do whatever you want. You can buy whatever you want or whatever price because you're DCAing over time. But yeah, Pengu is a top altcoin pick for alties in my opinion, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's definitely got a cult following. And the time for accumulating Pengu was when it was at 500 and something million. No less now at 2.6 billion.
Yeah.
So is it the time to be buying? No. I would personally be buying. It could still rally, don't get me wrong. But I think the risk is far too great. What I'll be more interested in is what other plays can Pengu potentially drag along with it. So looking at, similar types of projects, is it creating a move, or is it creating, a narrative for other similar types of projects to sort of follow within this rally? And if the answer is yes, then, getting ahead of some of those so that you can benefit from, 2, 3, 4x, maybe even more. That's what you need to be thinking about. But obviously, the further down you move in terms of the risk curve, the riskier it is, and the more chance you have of losing your initial investment. So be careful. And obviously, this is not financial advice, but that's something that you have to be aware of. But something else you have to be aware of is the US passed 3 major crypto bills, with the Genius Act now heading to Trump's desk for signature. And it should be signed by now because this is just over a week old. But the legislation set rules for private stablecoin issuance and aims to block a Fed-issued digital currency. Big banks and retailers like JP Morgan and Amazon are exploring stablecoin use to cut costs and streamline payments. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, the Genius Act is a very interesting bill. I can see why the crypto community is bullish on it, because it blocks the central banks from creating their own CDBCs or issuing stablecoin, which is great, because I think once you start doing that, that could devalue the value of having stablecoins and all that kind of stuff. And they also know the inherent risk as well. We've seen a couple of stablecoin depeg, and it's not impossible. It's definitely impossible. So I think this Genius Act though kind of protects both parties, protects the interests of the crypto community to drive innovation and, keep growing this community to tens and tens of trillions of dollars market cap overall. And same thing with, I think, with the center backs as well. I feel like there is no need, like, you want a traditional game of the gold, the bonds, the cash. So I think you should just stick to that. I think that works. When something works for you, why change it, right? You know what I mean? For like this, what they want to do is basically make sure there's the interaction between the central banks and the traditional, aka traditional market versus the digital market. It needs to be frictionless. If it's frictionless, then I think they've done their job. Then we kind of mediating that they're not, because one thing we want to do is try to stifle innovation. I think, the reason why this is even possible now is because, we've come a long way as a crypto space. From the days of Bitcoin being $20. Oh my God, and BTC at $20. Oh, yeah.
Don't remind me.
And now we have a Bitcoin ETF and even the Ether ETF. Like, that is just crazy work. So, and, I think if they didn't allow further collaboration and not kind of block that interaction between the digital space and the traditional space, I feel like those two needs to kind of work hand in hand to kind of keep surviving and keep growing as a civilization, to be honest. I think that's what's best for things. So I'm glad it's been passed. I think Trump has been doing really well in this term. I think this is probably his best term yet. And it's not just because I'm biased with crypto, but I think a lot of the things he said he's gonna do, he's done a fair bit of it. Like, he's been pro crypto. He hasn't pulled back. At first, he was given the crypto community of withdrawals, but it's kind of followed through on some promises. And obviously, there's more. I think we know he can, as much good as it's done in this space, he can easily undo it as well if he wanted to. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what's next. But in terms of the Genius Act bill, I think this is great for the crypto community, and it's also great for the central banks. Just, sometimes you have to protect these banks and these big institutions from themselves as well, because if something's too good to be true, what's stopping from doing it? Like, like, there's nothing stopping them from doing it now that this bill has been issued and signed and will be signed and executed. I think it will protect them as well from, because I'm telling you, once you start doing fractional banking at the level of the central banks, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. If inflation is high at 2.4 already, you can see inflation at 10%. That's a global recession right there. So I'm glad this is a good bill. I'm 100% behind it. But does it make me bullish on, like, does it make me say Bitcoin is going to $1 million? Oh, not yet. 500K? Not yet. I would say the top is still, that top I'm expecting. Everyone's saying 200K. I'm saying 190 or below. My conservative estimate is 170, 180. Maximum is 190. I'm not going to go higher than that because Genius Act bill got passed. Yes, it's good long term overall, but it doesn't make me like, oh my goodness, let me sell my house, let me sell my car. I'm all in. No, it doesn't do that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a good thing. When it comes to stablecoins, there's obviously a lot of money to be made. You see Circle doing great things in the stock market. And you see a lot of companies coming on board. You see PayPal, obviously, have their own stablecoin. And then you obviously got the crypto native stablecoins as well that we've seen forever. So there's a lot of appetite. And I think given opportunity, a lot of people will jump in for a lot of different reasons. But I think this act is good because I don't I don't believe in CBDCs. I don't believe in bank issued stable coins. I don't believe in these things, and I don't think they're going to be.
I don't know what it is, bro. What's CDBCs? What does that mean?
Oh, like central government, basically like a government issued coin.
Stable coin. I mean, I know. I'm just making the point. Like, I don't want what it is. Like, that's what it should be. Like, it shouldn't even be considering it, because I think they don't want that smoke. Honestly, they just don't want that smoke. Well, like, everything will be digitalized, everything will be traced, and that will make whenever you do fraud at a level where you shouldn't be doing it, will make it even more of a massive deal rather than it is. So it's for the better. It's the benefit of everyone for them not be able to issue their own stable coins. I think it's best.
Agreed. On that note, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.